just give you a hypothetical. So let's say you had a really, and I'll just speak for guys here. you had a brother. And your brother was more successful than you, but he lived in North Carolina and you lived in Texas, so you didn't have to be reminded of it every day. But what if you lived in Los Angeles and your brother lived right next to you? And every year he had a new car, and his kids went to a private school. And every time they went on a vacation, they were suntan, they look great. And you got to be reminded every day how much more successful. His wife's got beautiful ring on. Looks like a skating rink. She got a new ring and a new car and a new... After a while, you'll be like, enough already. I'm tired of my... We all get that LeBron and the Lakers play in the same building as Kawhi and the Clippers. We all know historically the Lakers matter and the Clippers are irrelevant, right? Once again, the Clippers are invisible. The Lakers brand, which has always been bigger, is winning, and their superstar is playing every night and playing his ass off. The Clippers brought in Kawhi. They didn't just bring him in for June. Don't get me wrong, it works in Toronto. It works in San Antonio, but this is an incredibly competitive, distracted market. The beach, the mountains, the shopping, the Dodgers, USC, UCLA, soccer teams, 2 NFL teams, and LeBron shares the building, and LeBron's playing every night. Listen, I get load management. Like, it works. I get it. But I think it works better in Toronto than Los Angeles. We got major market media, major distractions, and LeBron owns this city, and Kawhi on most nights now isn't even playing or competing against him. I think there's tension in the Clipper building. I don't think they love it. I think you can say you'll tolerate stuff, but God, doesn't it sting a little now that LeBron is, the best player in the league, and maybe by like a yard or two. They didn't bring Kawhi in here just for the icing. They wanted a little cake. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. Includes your FICA credit score. More your credit, discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. Colts, Texans tonight, Fox 7:30. More talented overall team is probably Indianapolis. More well-run. I'll take Houston. They got the quarterback right. So Magic Johnson, great player. Used to run the Lakers briefly, and now he just talks, and he's on Twitter and stuff and stops by TV shows. He was talking about LeBron James yesterday and about how, he's going to be the MVP of the league. The numbers are outrageous. And I think James Harden is scoring so much, he'll get a lot of votes. But I think the fact that LeBron is changing positions in year 17, I almost feel like the voters will feel like they're obligated to give LeBron James the award. We know James Harden can score. He's not doing anything he hasn't done before. LeBron is doing something he's never done before, and Magic came out and he said 25-11. This is an MVP season. Nobody's playing better than what scary is. His story is still being written, and I think that's an interesting line by Magic. The story on LeBron is being written. Year 17, change positions and be the best in the NBA at that. Let's not get into the MVP award. That is not what this rant's about. Michael Jordan, how many MVPs does he have in the regular season? Nobody cares. With Michael, it's 6 for 6 in the finals. The number that matters is 6. And the other number that matters is 6. 6 for 6. Let's not waste the Michael Jordan-LeBron argument. But this would definitively enhance what LeBron's always been, is the greatest, most versatile Swiss Army knife in league history. You would never, Michael may be the more relentless offensive player and better player. I'm not disputing that. But you didn't see, Michael was not capable in year 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of being the best player at forward. Just forget it. And I know the league is easier now and the nutrition is better, but to change positions and dominate it in a league full of all-time great guards really puts Magic Johnson, who I've always considered very close to Michael and LeBron. We freaked out when Magic played center for one game in the 1980 finals. We freaked out. Kareem got hurt. He had to step in against the Sixers and Caldwell Jones. Oh, my God. LeBron's 17th year. I'll do it for the season and win MVP and be the best at it in a guard-driven league. I think it will clearly put Michael LeBron, best ever, no Kareem, no Wilt, no Russell, no Kobe, no Magic, no Bird, the most relentless player and the most versatile player that we wrote a new chapter into the book in year 17. You can't say that with any other player ever. You can't say it with Kareem, Magic, Michael. You just can't say it. It's an incredible ability. And it's like comparing Michael and LeBron has always been sort of like comparing Beyonce and Bruce Springsteen. Like, they're both great. It's kind of a different genre thing, like different size for LeBron and different position for LeBron and really different skill set. And Michael's more the relentless scorer. And Michael... But, I mean, to do the point guard thing to me is just, it's remarkable. And I think it's an incredibly difficult position to play in basketball. You have to be the brains. You have to be the coach. While you're playing at 100 miles an hour, you have to be the decision maker. It's hard in college. It's hard in high school. It's absurd in the NBA. You have to often guard their best player, James Harden or Steph Curry. So I don't care about the MVP thing, but what I'm watching right now, it is crazy. It is just insane by LeBron. Here's Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, Mason Rudolph spoke to the media for the first time since last Thursday's fight between the Steelers and Browns. He had a prepared statement before answering a few questions. He took accountability for his role in the fight and said he has no animosity towards Myles Garrett. That's nice. And he's also ready to move on.
Okay. You know, I have no ill will towards Myles Garrett. Great respect for his ability as a player, and I know that if Myles could go back, he would handle the situation differently. As for my involvement last week, there's no acceptable excuse. The bottom line is I should have done a better job keeping my composure in that situation, and it falls short of what I believe it means to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and a member of the NFL. Unfortunate situation, and we're moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals at this point, though.
By the way, he looks like a young Tony Robbins.
He does. Doesn't he? I couldn't place it.
We're going to beat the Broncos. It's the power within. Doesn't he a little bit?
He does. He does. He does favor him. I like what he said there, and that's very Steeler-like. Now, I know Browns fans are going to flip out because I was not liking that Sheldon Richardson was talking about it, even though we've moved on. But this is the first time that he's spoken to the media, so obviously they're going to ask him about it, which is why he had a prepared statement. Yeah. And he used my favorite line, maybe in all of sports, which is "We're on to Cincinnati," which is exactly what they should do.
You do realize everybody in the NFL, that's their favorite hopeful sentence. You're playing Cincinnati next. Everybody wants to say, we're on to Cincinnati.
Now we're on to Cincinnati. But also, just we're done with this. And he took accountability for it, which I also liked. And he is right. I'm sure if Myles was in the situation again, that's not what how he would have wanted to handle it. And Mason did play a role in antagonizing the situation. He is going to be fined, and he hasn't received anything yet. And reportedly, he'll comply with whatever the league hands down to him. But look, that situation was a disaster. I think collectively we're all ready to move on from it. The bigger takeaway from that entire situation was, of course, nothing for the Steelers. Obviously, it was a bad situation for the Steelers, but it was more on the culture and situation with the Browns right now. So the Patriots and Cowboys meet in a highly anticipated game this weekend.
Oh, huge ratings.
It's going to be the best game this weekend.
And it's also going to get the biggest rating since the Super Bowl. It's going to get a monster number.
Well, it's America's teams.
By the way, San Francisco, Green Bay Sunday night. So it'll be the two highest rated football games since the Super Bowl.
It's between those two.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady, speaking of the 49ers, grew up a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys were their big rival, obviously, and he had some fun talking about his disdain for Dallas growing up.
Yeah, I've really not liked the Cowboys since coming out of the womb as a Niner fan. But, no, I got a lot of respect for those guys. And they've actually had a great winning organization. And they got a lot of great players in their history. Guys that I just, as a Niner fan, you'd play the Cowboys, and every time they hand out to Emmitt Smith, it'd be a 5-yard gain, and you would pull your hair out and throw it up to Michael Irvin. And Troy was such a great player, and the defenses, Ken Norton and prime time. So I think the history of great players, the tradition.
I feel like Brady and LeBron are very much alike in the sense that they're historians of their sport.
Yeah, they love it. They do it. They appreciate. When I first met Mike Tyson years ago, he was a complete boxing historian. And then he went through some transformations, Don King. But when I first met him, first time I was at a gym and saw Mike Tyson, Tunney, Dempsey, Mike was really like, he'd gone through a lot of books.
Well, I think that in order to be great at whatever it is that you do, you really have to appreciate
perspective,
have some perspective, and just appreciate what it is that you do and people that have done it at the highest level before you got there, and take different things from them. But this is funny because this does actually just describe what the Cowboys are. You either love them or you hate them.
Right.
But at one point in your life, you've had to just respect what they do. Like even now, I mean, they're a very polarizing team, obviously, but still the biggest, most profitable organization in all of sports.
Listen, I can go back to 1972, and I hate aging myself like this because I'm going to be on this radio mic for another 20 years. But in 1972, I'm a little boy in the coast of Washington, and I can remember sitting down. I'm 6, 7 years old, and it was George Allen, the legendary George Allen, coached the Washington Redskins, Billy Kilmer, and all these, Chris Hamburger and Pat Fisher, and Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys, and it was Roger Staubach. I can remember those vivid memories. RFK with the grass that was too long, and George Allen, and I'm thinking to myself, that's 45 years ago. I can remember it vividly. I can remember the Clint Longley game when he came in. I cried as a kid because I love Washington. Clint Longley beat my Redskins, which I thought at the time as a kid was Washington State. We didn't have a team yet. I didn't know it was Washington, D.C. I'm 7 years old. Hopefully I got smarter later. But the point being is, in my life, I can remember as a kid, the Redskins-Cowboys was the NFL's biggest rivalry.
If you're a sports fan or an NFL fan, the Cowboys are a part of who you are, whether you like it or not. That's why they're America's team. So finally, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George took the court together for the first time last night in a thriller against the Celtics. Kawhi stole the show with a couple highlight moments.
Yeah.
He had a huge dunk near the end of the fourth quarter and got a block. We're showing video of it now. I mean...
I was in bed by that time. Look at Ballmer.
Ballmer lost his mind. I mean, that dunk was, I mean, obviously it was he posterized him, but also it set that place on fire. It was just like a reminder that Kawhi, that's who Kawhi really is. Like for all the talk about like him load management and stuff, like at any moment he's just an assassin.
The two games this year that have felt like playoff games, Lakers-Clippers, Kawhi played, and Celtics-Clippers, Kawhi played. Like when Kawhi's on the floor, you feel like you get a true sense of identity of what the Clippers could do.
Right. And he also had a huge block on Kemba Walker's potential game-tying 3 in overtime to secure the Clippers' 107-104 win.
Yeah.
After the game, Mark Medina asked Kawhi about his 2 big plays, and we got another great Kawhi moment in return.
Oh, Lord.
Kawhi, can you take us through the dunk you had in the block?
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say. It's just more of just the build-up leading to that play, what you were seeing, and your thought process with everything.
Patrick threw me the ball. I took 2 dribbles to the paint and tried to jump high and dunk the basketball. And Kemba got it open for a 3, and I jumped to my highest to try to contest, and I got a block.
The thing is, he's not being sarcastic. That's literally just Kawhi. Just authentic Kawhi. Just giving the most matter-of-fact answer.
And dunked it over him.
I mean, that's literally what he did. He walked away from that dunk. I mean, that block. If you block someone's shot on a game-tying attempted 3 in that moment, you would think you'd be a little more excited. Kawhi just looked like he's crossing the street to get some ice cream. Do-do-do.
Crazy. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.